Welcome back to part 3 of our 50 random fact series. We got a fantastic mix of crazy, even crazier, and downright wild facts coming your way. So let's skip the long intro and jump right into these amazing facts. Macaque monkeys have the vocal anatomy capable of producing clearly intelligible human speech, but research shows they lack the necessary brain circuitry to actually produce it. Icing isn't just for decoration or taste. It also helps preserve baked goods by sealing in moisture. This protective layer keeps cakes fresh longer, preventing them from drying out, in addition to enhancing their flavor and visual appeal. One reason Target Canada failed was that some items wouldn't fit on shelves properly, as their dimensions were entered into the system in inches instead of centimeters, causing mismatches with shelf sizes. Zoe Roth, known as Disaster Girl from the viral meme, sold an NFT of the photo in 2021 for nearly $500,000. She used the money to pay off student loans after earning a BA in peace studies. The Eiffel Tower has 72 names of French scientists, engineers, and mathematicians engraved beneath its first balcony. Gustave Eiffel added them to honor their contributions. Originally painted gold, the engravings were painted over in the 20th century. However, it has since been restored to their original color. In 1992, a storm spilled 28,800 rubber bath toys into the ocean. Scientists tracked them for years as they floated worldwide, helping to study ocean currents. Some reached Alaska in 1992, while others drifted to Europe over a decade later. The PLP-50, made between 1962 and 1965, set the Guinness World Record in 2010 as the smallest production car ever made. In the Olympic Games opening ceremony, Greece always enters the stadium first, as a tribute to its role as the birthplace of the Olympics. The host nation enters last, while all other countries march in alphabetical order based on the host nation's language. In 2003, £4 million UK worth of stolen artwork, including pieces by Picasso, Gauguin, and Van Gogh, was recovered in a cardboard tube next to a public toilet after an anonymous tip-off. The tube also contained a note saying, "The intention was not to steal, only to highlight the woeful security." Oymyakon, a remote village in Siberia, is the coldest permanently inhabited place on Earth. Temperatures have dropped as low as minus 67.7 degrees Celsius or minus 89.9 degrees Fahrenheit, making it one of the most extreme places where people live year-round. Leonardo da Vinci was long believed to be left-handed, but experts found he was ambidextrous. A study showed he could paint and write with both hands, as seen in his early work Landscape, which has inscriptions written in opposite directions. On June 21, 2001, BHP Billiton set a world record by operating the longest and heaviest freight train in Western Australia. The train consisted of 682 wagons, weighed 99,734 tons, and stretched 7.3 kilometers between the Yindi Mine and Port Headland. Jamie Heineman, best known from Mythbusters, competed in Robot Wars with his robot Blendo, which was so powerful and destructive that it was deemed too dangerous for competition and was withdrawn for safety reasons. Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions in Vietnam. Despite being hit by an explosive, shot multiple times, and stabbed, suffering 37 major wounds, he managed to rescue 12 of his fellow soldiers. In 1948, Alan Turing tried out for the British Olympic marathon team, but was slowed by an injury. Despite this, his time was just 11 minutes behind Thomas Richard's Olympic silver medal winning run of 2 hours and 35 minutes. Marie Curie was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, receiving the Physics Award in 1903. She became the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes when she was honored with the Chemistry Prize in 1911, making her the only individual to receive Nobel Prizes in 2 different scientific fields. Minecraft holds a record as the best-selling video game, with over 300 million copies sold worldwide. Its enduring popularity is further evidenced by its 140 million monthly active players. A rare 16th century book in the National Library of Sweden features an ingenious six-fold dos-a-dos binding, allowing 6 separate books to be conjoined into one. With 6 precisely placed clasps, each book can be read individually, showcasing a remarkable feat of historical bookbinding. A fumi, meaning stepping on picture, was an image of Jesus or Mary used by the Tokugawa shogunate in Japan. Suspected Christians were forced to step on it to prove they were not part of the outlawed religion or face torture or death. In 1989, a man bought a $4 painting at a flea market, only to discover an original 1776 copy of the Declaration of Independence hidden behind it. The rare document later sold at auction for over $2 million. The Statue of Liberty is widely recognized, but its official name is actually Liberty Enlightening the World. This title reflects its purpose, to symbolize liberty and enlightenment, welcoming people to the United States as a beacon of freedom. Some bodybuilders consume human breast milk, believing it aids muscle growth. However, scientific evidence does not support this claim. The Cobra effect started in British India when the government paid people for dead cobras. To earn more money, people bred cobras. When the reward stopped, they released the cobras into the wild, making the problem worse instead of fixing it. In some jurisdictions, illiterate individuals can make a mark, often an X or a personal symbol on legal documents, as long as a literate witness countersigns. In some countries, thumbprints are used as a substitute for a written signature. In 2003, German hacker Axel Gemb infiltrated Valve's network and exploited a security flaw in Microsoft's Outlook to steal the source code for Half-Life 2. Before we continue with the rest, just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel, throw us a like, and drop a comment down below telling us how awesome you are. A lava lamp works by heating a special wax inside a glass vessel with an incandescent light bulb. The heat reduces the wax's density, making it rise. As it cools, the wax loses buoyancy and falls, creating a flowing cycle. In May 2021, Halima Cisse from Mali made history by giving birth to the world's only surviving non-euplets, 5 girls and 4 boys. Born at 30 weeks via C-section, the babies weighed between 500 grams and 1 kilogram and required specialized care in Morocco. The North Pole has no time zone because all lines of longitude converge there. Since every direction points south, its longitude can be any value, allowing any time zone to be used depending on the needs of those present. In 2023, chess player and Twitch streamer Anna Kramling created her own opening called the Cow. A year later, in 2024, she faced an opponent who used her own opening against her, only to be defeated by it. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, better known as Mark Twain, was born shortly after Halley's Comet appeared in 1835. He predicted he would die when the comet returned. True to his prediction, he passed away on April 21st, 1910, at age 74. Scientists at the Allen Telescope Array keep champagne in their fridge, ready to celebrate if they ever discover signs of extraterrestrial life. A medieval chess piece, originally bought for £5 in 1964 and kept in a drawer for decades, sold for £735,000 in 2019. It was discovered to be a warder, similar to a rook, one of the 5 major missing pieces from the 1831 Lewis chessman hoard. In 2001, Charles Ingram won £1 million on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but his victory was short-lived. A coughing conspiracy, where accomplices allegedly signaled correct answers, led to his conviction for fraud and the forfeiture of his winnings. Planking, or the lying down game, involves lying face down in unusual locations, with palms at the sides and toes on the ground. It became a viral trend in 2011 as participants shared photos of their creative planking spots on social media. In 2012, Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps made a 159-foot putt at the Dunhill Links Championship in Scotland, setting a record for the longest televised golf putt. During World War II, the Allies discovered that the Germans were using the Leaning Tower of Pisa as a lookout point. A U.S. Army sergeant, sent to confirm the presence of German troops, was so impressed by the tower's beauty that he chose not to call for an artillery attack. In Japan, resignation services help employees quit their jobs by notifying employers on their behalf. These services are popular among workers seeking to avoid confrontation or pressure when resigning. On April Fool's Day 1957, the BBC aired a hoax showing a family harvesting spaghetti from a spaghetti tree in Switzerland. At the time, spaghetti was unfamiliar to many in the UK, and some viewers even sought advice on growing their own trees. In Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 40 real squirrels were trained to crack nuts for the nut-cracking assembly line scene. They sat on stools, opened nut shells, and dropped them onto a conveyor belt, adding realism to the film. The Jerry Springer Show was an American talk show hosted by Jerry Springer. It aired for 27 seasons from September 30th, 1991 to July 26th, 2018, with a total of 3,891 episodes broadcast during its run. Roy Sullivan, a park ranger in Virginia, was struck by lightning 7 times between 1942 and 1977, surviving each strike. He earned the nicknames Human Lightning Conductor and Human Lightning Rod, and holds the Guinness World Record for most lightning strikes. IKEA's founder, Ingvar Kamprad, had dyslexia, which led him to name products after Swedish words instead of using complex numbers. This unique system not only made items easier to remember, but also became a signature part of the IKEA brand. The widowhood effect refers to the increased likelihood of a person dying shortly after their longtime spouse passes away, often called dying of a broken heart. It also raises the risk of severe mental disorders and both psychological and physical illnesses. From 1988 to 2016, Hui Fong Foods, the maker of sriracha sauce, sourced all their peppers from a single supplier based solely on a verbal agreement, sealed with a nod and a handshake, without contracts or lawyers involved. A UK girl with a rare chromosome 6 deletion does not feel hunger, pain, or danger. She is believed to be the only person in the world with all 3 symptoms combined, making her condition extremely unique. As part of their divorce settlement, Albert Einstein agreed to give Maliva Merrick his Nobel Prize money if he won. 2 years later, in 1921, he received the prize and fulfilled his promise by transferring the entire financial reward to her. A U.S. developer outsourced his job to China for a fifth of his salary while spending workdays online. Repeatedly named a top performer, he was eventually caught during a security audit, revealing his remote contractors had done all his work. The Air China logo features an artistic Feng Wang pattern, symbolizing the mythical bird of Chinese culture. The symbol artistically represents the word VIP. The Air China on its flight liveries is written in calligraphy by Deng Xiaoping, China's former national leader. In 2003, Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary registered his Mercedes-Benz S-Class as a taxi under O'Leary Cabs, allowing him to legally use Dublin's bus lanes and bypass city traffic. Tanjiangxi was a pre-modern Chinese tradition where a family adopted a young girl to be raised alongside their son as his future bride, arranging their marriage from childhood. And that's all we have for you today. If you don't want to miss out, hit that subscribe button. Check out the other videos in the series on your screen if you haven't yet. Thank you for watching. See you next time.